Thanks for doing this interview with me. We were just talking. I was trying to remember when we did an interview. I'm thinking a few months ago, and you reminded me it was literally last year, the same thing.
It's crazy. It just seems like yesterday that we got greenlit for season 1. Here we are, season 3 is about to begin airing, and we've already shot 4 episodes of season 4. So it's gone by blindingly quick, yeah.
Look, other than you want to say luck, I say talent, but what do you think the secret is that this show is connecting with people?
I think Canadians are genuinely interested in their own country, which is fantastic. I think anybody across the country, I feel like everybody's only a couple of generations away from being from a small town, if you're not directly from a small town. And I think there's lots of sort of who knew interesting stories out there. There's lots of, our show obviously focuses on small towns that have survival stories to tell, and I think that would strike a chord with anybody. I also like to think that maybe it's a bit funny too. People get a few chuckles out of it, and people numbers seem to be quite strong so far. So hopefully people will stay tuned in.
What kind of stories? Give me 1 or 2 stories that you had this season, yeah. And what can we look forward to for the next season?
Well, in the upcoming season, on June 27th, I think the plan is to air 2 episodes. One of them is Fort McMurray, which is a departure for us. We usually do small towns, but the story with the evacuation was so pertinent. The spirit of our show is about towns banding together to survive, and we certainly saw that exemplified in Fort McMurray during the evacuation, and thought it was just an important story to tell. I think they will also air on the 27th Bell Island in Newfoundland, which is typically more of the kind of town that we go to, a much smaller town, a town that's lost its industry. It used to have a huge iron ore mine there, which is closed. But great who knew story. There's Nazi submarines, U-boats, sank iron ore freighters there during the Second World War. Lance Cove in Bell Island was the only place in North America to receive direct fire from a German U-boat. A torpedo blew up the dock there. And then the more you dig into that story, the more interesting it gets, because you find out that Germany used to be the biggest buyer of iron ore from Bell Island. So they had a lot of sailors who knew those waters, who'd sailed in to pick up ore from that mine many times, and they knew the waters of Conception Bay very well, how to navigate them. And obviously these people were used when the Nazis sent U-boats over. It's great, just mind-blowing, amazing story.
How important do you think this is now to have a show like this? Because as we turn on CNN or Fox or any of those other stories, we've got all these crazy things. As we speak, Manchester, England, what just happened there? This is the kind of show to me that we get that human hope that stays alive.
Yeah, it's there's some optimism to our show, certainly. And we don't go into any of these places thinking like, oh, definitely in 10 years they're going to be all right. We're just there to sort of take it in and reflect it back to people. It's more about the spirit of people, the efforts that are being made, the willingness that people have to roll up their sleeves and get involved in their community. And most of these towns that I go to, they wouldn't survive without that core, that group of 8 or 9 or 10 people who are dedicated to the survival of the town, and who are doing interesting and difficult things to make their place survive.
Well, look, congratulations on all this. Looking forward to the new season. Looking forward to next season. Let's cross fingers. Season 5 is going to happen for you.
I sure hope so. There's no shortage of interesting small towns out there with great survival stories to tell. So who knows how long we could be doing this.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, Rudy. Cheers.